that was a solid workout. Leg day in the afternoon, fully carved up, fully hydrated. You know, it's always a good one. And I did have to switch it up a little bit, which I'm okay with. But yeah, I really like these afternoon lifts. I just can't consistently go in the afternoon. I also like going first thing in the morning, going into an empty gym and just having the whole thing to myself. You know, there's benefits to every way of going to the gym, early, late, middle of the day. Like, I think optimum is early afternoon as far as getting your body in peak condition and ready to put it through a brutal workout. But it's just not always the case. Anyway, legs. So I wanted to start with hamstring curls. However, somebody was on the single hamstring curl machine that is available at my home gym. But I did start with some RDLs, and you know, it was okay. I really like doing RDLs second, because if I exhaust myself on the hamstring curls, I don't have to go heavy on the RDLs, because when I go heavy on the RDLs, it hurts my elbows a little bit. And you know, I'm not over that completely yet. I do notice some progress as far as that goes. But when I'm doing the RDLs, you know, I'm driving my heels into the ground so hard, it feels like my toes are going to come off the ground. And keeping my back as straight as I can, keeping the dumbbells close to my shins, up and down. I did 2 or 3 sets. I'm not sure if I did 3 sets. I can't remember. And then hamstring curls were open, and I went to town on that. I did 4 sets there. Moderately heavy. I wouldn't say heavy. I'd say moderately heavy. Focusing a little bit on the squeeze. But I was feeling really good. Maybe it's because I did RDLs first. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try that again. But yeah, so squeeze, stretch, pretty simple, right? 4 sets there. Hamstrings were on fire. And then I went to work on my quads. I started with the split squats, and I forgot to warm up. I was already halfway through my working set, but luckily I was fine, you know, but not recommended. I did 3 sets there, so moderate weight, really focusing on getting my form better, going real deep, exploding up. 3 sets there, quads were burning. So then I went on to squats. I used the Smith machine this time, because I keep hearing that the Smith machine is really, I wouldn't say it's superior. It's just a different way to do your squats. I think they both have benefits, but I've always struggled to go as heavy on the Smith machine as I do on just barbell squats. So I wanted to work on my form, and I think I got it down pretty good. I watched a few other videos of people doing it, and you know, I think I corrected my form pretty good. And I was able to go pretty heavy on the last set, and it felt as good or better than normal squats. So, you know, I'll go back and forth with those. Not really sure which one I like more, but just in the spirit of mixing things up. I did 3 sets there. Last set went to failure. And then I finished off my quads with the good old leg extensions. I cannot go through a leg workout with my leg extensions. And it does seem to work out better at the end, but I also like doing it first because it gets me ready for heavy squats. So there you go again, give and take, right? The benefits of mixing it up. I did only 2 sets there, but I went really hard, moderate weight, really focusing on the squeeze. And then my legs were thrashed. Completely forgot to do calves again. I gotta start nailing that. So did my pose down, did my 30 minutes of cardio finally, and that was it. Diet is okay. I've been in a slight calorie surplus for the last couple of weeks because I've been just eating stuff I shouldn't have and haven't been tracking my calories the way I wanted to. I am a couple pounds heavier than I was a few weeks ago. So if I really want to get diced, like I feel like I'm in a pretty good body fat percentage, but I really want to see what I look like diced. So we gotta do what it takes to dial that in. I could talk about it all day, but if I don't execute, it's just not going to happen. But that was it for leg day. Tomorrow is shoulders. Not sure if I'll do it at my home gym or the gym by my store. I know nearby later this week they're opening a really big Anytime Fitness, the biggest I've ever seen. And I'm absolutely going to check that out. It's about a 30-minute drive from my house, so it's really not that far. It's probably going to be worth the drive. The only fear I have is if it's super crowded and it's just difficult to film my exercises, but we'll see. I'll give it a shot. I just want to check it out, check out some of the machines they have. But don't let that dreamer die. Keep the grind alive and never, ever give up on yourself. I'll see you guys tomorrow for shoulders.